Hello, welcome back to my lathe. In this video we're going to be taking this piece of Cypress. I've already made a few pieces, a few projects with the same log, or a lot of pieces of log that a friend of mine gave me that fell off in his property. And this time we're going to go for a more traditional shaped hollow form. And in this case, as opposed to the other hollowing that I've been doing so far on channel, this hollowing is going to be a cross grain hollowing instead of an end grain hollowing. We're not going to be hollowing from the top of the piece, but obviously from the side of the piece. As you can see, I've already marked out the general shape of the form that I want to make, and obviously, as you can see, the majority of the wood that I would have to take off in order to arrive at this shape is on this side. Normally what I would have done at this point to make the entire process a little bit shorter and faster would be to use my chainsaw to roughly cut the shape and also obviously the size of it, but I'm going to just mount it as it is. As you can see, I've already marked the center of my shape. As you can see, it relates obviously to the center of the shape I'm going to work on and not the shape of the log itself. And I'm going to mount it to my chuck using the wormwood screw. If this won't work, and we'll see together if it won't work, I will take it off and I will use my chainsaw to rough it out a little bit more and cut it more to size, but I'm going to go for a try to rough it out as it is on the lathe.
Think about you when I'm making a mistake, when I'm screaming at a man through the plexiglass of a store on the corner of my favorite avenue. My best friend's digging through his pockets for change as he counts. Turn with a smile on my face, I say I know that things are tight. Do you have enough for two? Say these types of things like to skip a generation, like the stones I've tossed and tossed across the rivers. Matter of length, they go always sink to the river's bed. You were buried underneath the dirt and the sand. Current washed away your sins and you're a brand new man. You left everyone you had to try and stand on their own. Gives me comfort knowing that my son be okay. Notice it first when my eyes start to sag, when I look in the mirror when I'm done throwing back a couple double-bagged bottles as we sit in the van that's parked behind the bar. Above the front door hangs a neon lit key that greets us, meets us, never leaves our glasses empty. But it's me who always takes it too far. Say these types of things, they just run in your blood like it was sewn in your skin. You didn't have to sign up. No, it's one in the bag with the thief comes a running with the badge. Get the gun. You were scattered underneath the harvest moon, and the wind blew your ashes through the fields of your youth that you worked so hard on all your life. Now you're gone. Gives me comfort knowing that my son be okay. Be alright. Be okay. Be just fine. I picked it up quickly, yeah, it came in my sleep after a clumsy walk home through the spinning.
Okay, what's going on here is actually a very classic turner's move, which is a complete change of design once you've started cutting into the wood. I can see a lot of interesting features here in this piece that made me decide to change the original design to a more rotund, ball-like design. A couple of those things are these two pieces of bark, which I actually really like, and I would love to try and preserve this piece here and this piece here that goes all the way around to the top. So I hope I'll able to keep as much as I can from that. And other features, interesting features are, I don't know if the camera can catch this, there are very nice rays going into the grain in this side over here, and on this side there's the same ray, and there's some small areas of spalting. I don't think that they will play a very large part. There is a very distinct definitions and transitions between some of the areas of the wood. I don't know if it's because some of those areas have fungus, like here, if you can see, there's a very bright area next to a dark one.
Led me back to a mattress on the floor, sail off to that same old dream again. Get that uncomfortable, you look just like him, and boy, that man is quite a fish, so you best learn how to swim. Lived by a statement like that, would it make you happy? Maybe these things, they just skip a generation. Maybe these things, they really run in your blood. And maybe, just maybe, you never gave two shits about us. 'Cause you were buried underneath the dirt and the grass, and falling leaves pierced my shoulders like an arrow through the back. In that life that you left behind, they still love you. They still love you. Oh, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. Oh, oh, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know.
Welcome back. This is the second part of turning this project. I had to stop. If you've seen my previous video about the project update, you would know that this piece has been chucked up on my lathe for the past week and a half, since I had to stop working on it, but it looks like the treatment I gave it was enough to keep it intact for this time period. I will not stay under the illusion that there are no new cracks in it, but I am under the impression that any new cracks are either small or simply not visible. You can see a couple of cracks, but they're really hairline cracks that we can later give them a little dab of CA glue. I hope you hear me well, as maybe you can hear by my voice that I'm also experiencing a little trouble with my throat these days. So anyway, I've uncovered the piece. It was covered with a plastic bag after I doused it with mineral oil. And this piece in this stage is already sanded to 600. While sanding it, obviously I encountered a lot of chatter, since there are two low points covering pretty much the entire surface of the ball, on the back here, which you can't see at the moment, and here on the front that you can see that goes almost all the way around. So in thinking about finishing the outside of this hollow form I'm planning to make out of this piece, and hopefully will succeed, I thought about the type of finish I want to apply, and I think right now the best idea for me is to not give it any outside finish at the moment, just leave it sanded to 600, hollow out the inside and finish it. And then what I'm planning to do is give it a couple of coats of of boiled linseed oil, and let it cure for a couple of hours, maybe a day, but we'll see. And then I have some abrasive wax, abrasive paste, as you can see, for the automotive industry. It's good for anything metal or glass, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna clean out this wood very nicely. And I have a small buffing wheel, which I don't know where it is at the moment, but I will find it later, and I will use this to manually polish the outside of the ball after the linseed oil is cured, and I'm pretty sure that would give a nice finish to the outside. And then obviously I'm going to have to let it sit for a while for all the disgusting stuff they use in this paste to evaporate. You can see I have the new handle, and while on the new handle issue, let me show you. I've gotten the other package of handles, and these are the other handles, and this handle is made out of plastic, and this mechanism is made out of plastic, but it does feel very robust and secure, so I will give this a try in one of the next projects, and we'll see how this one works out.
Sticks in the mud, as monuments we stood, ridiculous and good. Death defied the friars and the goats, the wires and the crows, the faith in our own souls to get alive. Said his best apologist, hey, judges and the clerks, the saddles and the skirts. They say God's a public work, not a private eye. And when we call on him, he sent his best apologist. Hey, when all we ever needed was a lawyer.
Stop here for a second.
And when we called on him, he sent us his condolences.
We're not done yet.
When all we needed
Finish the hollow.
was
It's
clean
very close.
water.
But as I was working on it now, I found out that probably I've left this piece on the lathe for too long before nearing completion, because if you can see, there's a nice big crack here, and another one here, and here. There's a crack here, and of course there's a big crack here, going all the way to the bottom actually. More cracks and checks here. At this point I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this. Should I complete this? Should I try and fix this? There's just too much time I've spent working on this, hollowing out. It will be really hard for me to just let it go. At this moment the wall thickness is about, I would say, 8-9 millimeters, so we're talking about a third of an inch, like 3/8. I was planning to bring this to a 1/4 inch, maybe even an 1/8. What shall we do? Well, if I'll treat this now with CA and sawdust, it means that I'm going to have to redo the outside to get rid of all the CA.
I live in these white walls alone, no regard to where I'm going or where I'm coming from. I smoke my weed and watch TV. Doing all this thinking's made me weary on my feet. And the night is young, I would rather sleep than remember the things I've lost. When I close my eyes, I can hear ringing in my ears words you said to me all night. Been talking to myself a lot, seeing your reflection in the sunglasses I bought, and I swear if I see your face, I will keep on living, pretend I don't know your name. But I am a liar, I miss almost everything about you and your smile. When I close my eyes, I can hear you ringing in my ears, words you said to me all
obviously this hollowing is done. It's really surprising to me how little these weigh after they're completely empty. It shouldn't come as a surprise, but it's always surprising to pick one of these up and understand that they weigh practically nothing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave this to dry and to cure, which the boiled linseed oil will do, and it will take a few hours. If I want the oil completely cured, also inside the vessel and inside the wood, I would probably wait longer, but my time is short, so I will wait a few hours. I'm gonna give it the opportunity to dry and cure, and then what I'm going to do is using this buffing wheel, which I'm going to chuck right here using this Morse taper 2 and Jacob's chuck to hold this in the headstock, in the spindle, I'm sorry, and I will use this to, wait a minute, let me switch it around a little bit, and I will use this, actually it's a polishing paste for automotive paint, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a little bit off the wood also and make it shine, I hope. So I'll be back with you soon, in a few hours. Here is our final form. As you can see, the buffing not only made the vessel shinier, it also, for some reason, I think probably because the paste is white, made it a little bit brighter in color.